We're set. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. It is Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock, ready for 1 Million Cups of Fairfax. We are established by the Kauffman Foundation, which works with communities in really helping educate and give opportunities to people to learn about and take risks from an entrepreneurial standpoint. So we are both a national and local mission. There are over 120 chapters of 1 Million Cups that meet Wednesday mornings from 9 to 10. And we're working towards really to education and provide experience for entrepreneurs in providing support and help to those local entrepreneurs. We've got four key pillars that we are doing presentations and not pitches. So we're not raising money. We are all about authentic connections and not networking. So we are here to help one another, help people that come in and present. We are run for the community and by the community. We are an all volunteer organization, and we are both radically and intentionally inclusive. Everybody and anybody is welcome. So I know we've got some visitors today. If you would raise your hand, tell us your company name and how you heard about us, that would be great. And so with that, Ignacio.
Thank you. My name is Ignacio Calles. I am a financial advisor and I work with Mass Mutual. And I heard about 1MillionCups through working with other colleagues that suggested that I check it out.
Great. Very good. Welcome. Glad you're
Thank you.
here. And let's see, I know Kaylee is here as well. Welcome, Kaylee.
Hello, I'm Kaylee Clark. I'm a social media specialist at 48 Blocks Fine Candy. And I'm here to support Amy.
Awesome. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
And let's see, anybody else new?
I'm new-ish. I was here last week. I'm Colleen. My company, such as it is called Create a Great Healthy Life, and I'm a health coach.
Awesome. Great to see you. Great to have you back, Colleen.
Hi,
All
I'm
right.
new as well. Similar to Kaylee, I'm helping Amy out with her social media at 48 Blocks, so I'm just here to support.
Wonderful. Glad you're here, Talia. All right. Anybody else?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Sophia here with Impeccable Advantage Health. Last week was my first time here. We are a home health services agency or provider in Northern Virginia.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Sophia, for being here. Coming back. All right. With that, anybody else? I think we're good there. All right. All right. If you all would, please make sure that you check in. If you've already checked in, you've got the QR code in front of you there. You can scan that QR code and check in. One of the things that we do is we are working on increasing our numbers, and you can see we've got we're a little flat lately, but we are continuing to work on increasing our numbers. So please check in. It also helps with regards to the swag that we get from 1 Million Cups. So when you would come for the first Wednesday, well, actually, it's going to be the second Wednesday of July. Stop in, and we have some things we can provide. With that, this does not happen in a vacuum. We've got a bunch of organizers. We meet on Mondays to get the meetings organized, and then we've got our brand ambassadors as well. We also have two sponsors. We've got Veterans Growing America and the Fairfax Economic Development Authority. Again, you've got the QR code again to check in. It's great to have many of the organizers and ambassadors here as well. All right, we do have two sponsors. We have a location sponsor. And Jen, you mind chatting about George Mason Enterprise Center?
I always love talking about Mason Enterprise Center. Mason Enterprise Center is right off of 66, just off of 123. And it's a great space, not only to, if you're a business owner, have office space, have boardroom meeting space or client meeting space. They also have a huge training room, which is where we meet for 1 Million Cups. We will be meeting hybrid next Wednesday, as we said earlier. I put the address in chat. We'd love to have you join us. What's unique about Mason Enterprise Center Fairfax is they have dedicated mentors to help businesses scale. And let's face it, being an entrepreneur can be lonely. So it's great to have a community to work with. There are several hundred businesses that operate out of Mason Enterprise. They also have a lot of programming that is educational for business owners. If that's an opportunity you're looking for, let me know, and I'm happy to connect you with Eddie Hill. Again, check us out. Join us in person next week or online, but we love seeing people in person. Plus, we'll have some marshmallows for you. All right, thanks.
Yes.
Next up, Amy as our other sponsor.
Our coffee sponsor, Amy.
Good morning, 1 Million Cups. I need a little more coffee today. I own 48 Blocks Fine Candy, and since you're going to learn way more than you ever wanted to know in about 2 minutes, all I will say here is I'm inviting all of you to please join us for our Christmas in July open house, July 25th, from noon forward. Lots of sweet treats and some surprises.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. All right, how our meetings work. We're going to have Amy is going to present in just a minute. And after she presents, we will have a moderator who will call on people. Please keep your mics muted. And the only thing we ask is that be constructive and be kind. So with that, we are going to turn it over to Amy. Amy, great to have you here. Kick us off about marshmallows.
All right. So first of all, not only marshmallows, it's marshmallows and more. So, John, if you'll hit the next slide for me. So the challenge question for me today, and I wanted to give you context around it, is how do we reach new retail customers and promote customer experiences without having a traditional storefront? And there's a reason why we don't have a traditional storefront. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about us. We were formed in December of 23 after I bought out my business partner in Marshmallow MBA and decided to expand in our candy offerings and move everything here to Northern Virginia. We built 48 Blocks Fine Candy on a family recipe and a tradition from my grandmother, who had the biggest sweet tooth I've ever known or met. So we are best known for marshmallows, but also fruit pate, and we're playing with some other things seasonally. And we work with traditional candy in non-traditional flavors. And we're curating our products. We really want to appeal to foodies, folks who are adventurous in their candy consumption, as well as shopkeepers who are expanding their candy and gift offerings as they're looking to be more creative in their offerings and differentiate what they have for their customers. We are opening our retail candy emporium July 25th, and that's in Falls Church, and you're about to see a little more about that. Next slide, please. Here are just a few of our products where we use the hashtag unique sweets because we feel our customers are looking for something different. And so we're doing marshmallows and fruit pates. We also do a bourbon brown butter Rice Krispie treat that never bothers anyone, and Besmoke s'mores kits or coffee. We're making everything in small batches, which is another one of our creative differentiators. Limited ingredients, low allergen as well. Next slide, please. So this is our location. We're at 7777 Leesburg Pike. It's also known as the 4 Sevens building. If you've been anywhere near the Beltway and 495, you've seen our building. We're on the 3rd floor, tucked back in the back. This building, just a little bit of demographic data here that's going to help as you're thinking about things. We have 110,000 households within 5 miles of the building, with a median income of $159,000 a year. We are less than 250 yards from George Marshall High School, and we get 200,000 cars that pass our location every day. So because we're tucked back and the signage is not what it could be yet. We have a challenge, and that challenge is really how do we let people know we're here? And how do we support our retail sales beyond e-commerce? And so that's where we go next. I am in the interior shot. We have about 450 square feet of common area. It's marked hallway on the slide, but it's our common area where normally you'd have a receptionist. That'll be our emporium. Next slide, please. So this is our target audience. I also should have mentioned that we're less than a mile from Tyson's 1 and Tyson's 2. We are for retail target. We also do wholesale, but for our retail target, we really are looking at adventurous eaters, people who are looking for something different, something unique. Whether they're foodies or whether they're candy lovers, whether they are planning special events or just want to share something with their family, we have products that appeal to a real broad focus, which while it's a great opportunity, it can also be a challenge in itself. Next slide, please. So here's the meat of it. This is our proposal. This is the strategic ideas that we've been bouncing around with. I should say as a caveat, having full-time retail is not a goal. I was a Gap girl back in the day. Full-time retail is not something I want to do again. But there is opportunity to go beyond our e-commerce shop, although we will maintain that with available on-site pickup. Jen has taken advantage of that, although things will look a little different when you see it now. We're looking at hosting retail pop-ups, potentially with other makers in Fairfax County, 3 times a month. I think a lot of people are familiar with First Friday. We're looking at 3 other days. So second Saturdays, third Thursdays, and fourth Fridays. A 4-hour window, you come in, we work with themes, or if we're working with other makers, perhaps that is the theme of the afternoon and evening. And then once we hit the holiday season, for us it's October, but for most people it's November, we'll be looking at Thursday through Sunday shopping hours. And then we're playing with the idea of themed experiences. So much is about experiential shopping now. Post-pandemic, people are looking for more than just, I'm going to run in, grab it, and go. Although not a bad, I don't ever mind that. But to create experiences, I've had other colleagues reach out to me, for example, when we look at team building workshops. I have a colleague who is a board consultant, and a lot of his boards are 6 to 10 people. He's looking for a unique team building experience and also small space where he can host an offsite. We have that space available, and there, interestingly enough, are a lot of team building exercises around candy and also around manufacturing. People like to get behind the scenes and see things and see how it works. There's also a really fun workshop idea called Explain It to Me Like I'm 5. And it's any topic. Candy lends itself really well to that, whether you are 15, 25, or 50. So we're also exploring that with the opportunity then having some retail products available in the space that folks can pick up after they're here, after they've seen behind the scenes, maybe something's grabbed their interest that they have not considered previously. I know there's other things we can be doing. And so I'm looking to all of you to perhaps share some thoughts around this or share some thoughts how you like to shop and how we can better commoditize. I keep using the word exploit, but it's really commoditize the space here as we are growing and moving forward. Next slide, John. That's my contact information. Talia did that great graphic. You can get a lot more information about 48 Blocks Fine Candy through our QR code, which is just a scan away. And now I'll look to hear from you and answer any questions you might have.
Awesome. All right. Excellent, Amy. All right. So our moderator for today.
It's me.
All
First hand
right.
up, if I may. Thank you, Amy, for this great presentation. I've been salivating as you've been speaking. I got a special order a few weeks ago. There were some leftovers and they were hidden at the back of my refrigerator with a word, it's for Maria only. And I eat one a day because, I'm trying to lose weight.
No
So
fat.
well, I'm trying to play on moderation. And that is 1 square of marshmallow a day. So I've been looking at a few things in your brand, and we've spoke about a few as we've been talking as friends. I still think that looking at your LinkedIn, and I'm probably going to beat John to it, I think that there's a little bit more branding that can go into your LinkedIn. And I couldn't find a LinkedIn page for 48 blocks.
Oh, it's there.
So I clicked on a few spaces on your profile, and I didn't get to a LinkedIn web, not your web page, but the LinkedIn page for your business.
Okay.
I think that another item is
Maria, just real quick, we do have 2 people with hands raised if you want to
sure.
tee up Deborah and then
And
Sarah.
then I'll go around and have a couple more ideas, but let's go with Deborah, please.
Thank you, Amy. Great presentation, and I can't wait to try your product. I do have a couple of questions for you. Just one to start out with. Do you do any advertising? How do I find out about you other than 1 million cups?
So we do limited advertising via social media and not necessarily paid ads because it's return on investment we learned with the previous company. We just weren't seeing it through paid ads. We are posting, thanks to Kaylee and Talia, 3 to 5 times a week across Instagram and TikTok primarily.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Karen, please go ahead.
Thank you. And thank you, Amy. Just for clarification, it sounds like I'm a little unclear. Are you trying to bring people to your storefront, or are you also considering ways of taking your candy out?
So for today, thinking specifically about how to get traffic in during the hours we want traffic in. We do have an e-commerce site. We have a shop on the web page, which has been driving most of my retail traffic to this point. With previous company, we were 85% wholesale, so we were selling to other retailers. That's a second question, which is in its own pot of questions. So for right now, focused on driving retail customers to this location here in Falls Church.
Thank you.
Ben, go ahead.
Sure. Amy, quick question. I love the team building idea and workshops. Would people be able to actually make marshmallows, or would you walk them through the process? Like, what would a good team building workshop look like?
So what we've talked about is a demo of how to make the product. Because there's 250-degree sugar involved, there's a little liability there. Where you would get involved would be in how do we cut it? We have this great guitar cutter, which we've been showing off on social media. You can use that. You can package. There's also some exercises, the marshmallow tower, where you get a piece of string and a few straws and a few marshmallows, and you build the tallest structure freestanding, which is a good exercise. There's a few others, couple ways to play there, but it would be more in the post-manufacturing phase that we would have them hands-on.
I love the idea of the marshmallow tower. It sort of replaces the egg drop challenge, which so many people do. I love the team building. My other thought before I hand it over to Melinda is I think team building is great. I'd love for you to have a one pager and do LinkedIn ads out to executive coaches, chief of staff. Like there's a way to do targeted ads around that. And then also, I would love to see you collaborate with other businesses. A wine tasting with marshmallows, a bourbon tasting. Not that I'm totally leaning only towards alcohol, but I think there's some cool things you could do with other businesses to bring more visibility jointly.
I like it.
I can't wait.
Melinda, you're muted.
I was just typing Jen's idea into the chat. Um, along that line, I had a couple other ideas that you might want to do monthly tours, and possibly on these monthly tours, even schedule it with local chambers. I love with tying into the team building. Do you know who Natty Bow is?
I do.
When you said your grandmother, I just saw your your grandmother like the Natty Bow that I see out on my roof when I'm on my roof. I don't know how you could do that, but maybe you could do it in your space. I think it's kind of cute, but maybe not your grandmother's company, but you know what I'm trying to say? Your grandmother's company on marshmallows, or whatever, to the umph or whatever, where you took her idea of candy and there goes the word exploit, but you've exploited it. I thought that might be good. Chamber happy hours, jumping a little bit ahead, holiday pop-ups.
Yep,
For
they're in there.
Okay. And lots of partnerships. There are a lot of partnerships that you can do, and I'm sure I'd be happy to help you brainstorm some, and I'm sure the rest of us would be too, that where there are really some really good fits in the area where you're located.
Thank you.
Dan Lender.
Thank you. Hey, Amy, good morning, and thank you. And it makes me hungry looking at your stuff. Uh, besides the people, I mean, everyone likes to eat candy, but do you have an ideal customer in mind? And do you have when you said you want to, you used to work you were a Gap girl, but you don't want to drive, you don't want to be in retail, but you're trying to drive retail traffic. And so I'm trying to figure out what exactly you want to do and who you want to get to, right? And I'm thinking as I do a lot of driving, and I'm not necessarily saying you do this. My second point is that as I'm driving it throughout Northern Virginia, I'm frequently at stop signs, and I see the signs stuck in the median that are like, call so and so for power washing. Is the goal, and there's a phone number. Sometimes there's a website. So is your goal to drive people to your website to then have them find out and come to your location? So I've asked a few questions there, but tell me first who your ideal customer is, and do you want to drive people to your site or to your website first?
So ideal customer is really a foodie in Northern Virginia. I think that's the broadest definition.
Okay.
Somebody who doesn't necessarily think of marshmallows when they're thinking of candy. I don't necessarily want to be Peeps. There, I'll just throw the dreaded P word out there. But we're looking for folks who are looking for unique sweets and something that is different. We know we're not going to appeal to everyone. Our model up until this point has been e-commerce and then either delivered or shipped. But being in this area and having the real estate footprint we have now, there is an opportunity for people to come in and either pick up after they've been to the website already, or to attend specific pop-ups in the, right now the brainstorming time frame is like 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock on specific days. It's not really space you're going to wander through because we are also manufacturing here. So we do have to control the traffic to a certain extent, which would limit our full-time retail profile as well. Does that help?
Yes.
Yes. John Rutenberg.
Amy, thank you so much. It was great talking with you always and listening today. I want to build on what everyone said, and specifically Dan Lender a little bit. As it relates to the store, the narrower the ideal client, the higher the return. So Northern Virginia is too broad, but using the demographics you described earlier, there are probably 10,000 houses pretty darn close, whatever that diameter or radius is, of which getting 500 to 1,000 over a year would be a heck of a goal. And so there needs to be outreach on a very consistent basis to that very narrow audience that's close by, and offering in the content both online and in-store pickup. And as you've told me when we've chatted, and while I'm picking up, I'll buy 10 more marshmallows. Okay. I think that's really critical because you can have pickup from 3 to 7 or 2 to 5 when in the commute after commuting hours. If it's the parent who has to pick up kids or leave work and is in the path, that's possible. Also, you have a great story relating to how it started, etc., and telling that to the immediate community. I think is really I think all the ideas you have potential, but I think reaching the community and narrowly defined is critical.
Thank you. That's helpful. Talia and Kaylee can tell you that I've said multiple times, I feel like I'm always telling the story. And like I've told it over and over and over again. And I don't remember which one of them said back to me, yeah, but you're telling it to different people now. You're not always telling it to the same people. And I forget that. And there is a big part of me that there's a big part of the mission, which is really honoring that family tradition and honoring my grandmother, who was everything to me. So telling the story is absolutely appropriate, and I appreciate that.
She'll love it a lot more when you're making more sales because she told me that.
Okay.
Peter, go ahead.
So lots of great ideas. I was just thinking about the idea of the ideal customers, and it seems like it is your grandmother. So I would go hit the high-end retirement homes because you've got people, there's multiple customers in the same spot. They've got time, they've got money, they've also got word of mouth, and they probably welcome you coming in doing a marshmallow building contest or some kind of demonstration. So that may be a way to get to a bunch of people, and they obviously have a network of people, their families, their grandparents, grandkids, all that might be buyers as well.
That's a total obvious, Peter, and I can't believe that this is the first I'm considering it. So for that alone, you get extra marshmallows next week.
All right, great.
If you show up in person.
He's presenting.
Perfect.
I gotta show up in person.
Michael Butera. I just lost Michael. Is Michael still here? Okay.
Just a few quick things. To John's point a little bit earlier, I would, you've been doing what you said were electronic, or online communications. I think a mailer to a small area, maybe 1,000 within a small geographic area, might be a good way to do it, with that target audience piece. Second thing is try to team up with a culinary institute, get your name out. There are lots of culinary institutes in the Northern Virginia area. I'm not as familiar with them. There are a whole bunch of associations that are in this field. The associations are are really an industry where relationships are absolutely everything. But pick a couple and try to build a relationship with them because they have enormous reach. And last, on the LinkedIn thing, if you could produce a small video about your marshmallow bit, that's a teaser, that might bring some more people to your place of business.
Michael, I like all of that. Thank you. Yeah, my association relationships are all national. And so that is something that I need to do better on. We're debating what Chamber of Commerce to join actually as well. To your point about the targeted mailer, one thing I didn't mention that I learned yesterday is we're about to be featured in Tyson's Living, which is not a magazine I was familiar with. My landlord asked if they could profile us for, I think it's the back to school issue, which publishes in September. So I'm hoping that generates some interest, but that falls in line then with targeted mailing as well. So appreciate it.
Yeah. You might let me add one other thing. I would check with the local public school districts. They probably have programs, in terms of culinary activity, and desserts, of course, are one of them, and candy's a dessert of sorts. There might be an opportunity there, to introduce that in a school setting close to you. So that's another opportunity.
Great, thank you.
All right, and we're almost at 9:30, and I have about 6 people with a raised hand. So I'm gonna ask everybody or Amy to have a succinct answer so we can move along. Jen, please go ahead.
I love the postcard campaign. You can do that through USPS, so happy to talk more. McLean Living Magazine is another magazine I would recommend having them feature you. You can submit something by the 10th of every month for the next month. So if you're doing back to school, you have time to submit by July 10th or August 10th. Pop-ups, I was thinking about, are there races that a lot of community people go to where you could have the fruit pate? Because I feel like that's a really healthy version of what you do. And so how do you get more awareness around that? I would pay for a branded marshmallow flavor for my company. We can talk more about that.
Yeah.
Happy to do it.
Last couple ideas. I might think about joining NABO, National Association of Women Business Owners. They do a lot of events, so you could have your products there. Dulles Moms is a great advertising channel. I'll talk with you about that offline. One of my clients sponsors a sports team. So again, going back to the fruit pate, if you have a favorite sport, do you sponsor a sports team? And lastly, building on Michael's idea, there are a lot of nonprofits who do STEM classes. So if you could present at a STEM event, which I'm happy to help with through some of the work I do, that could be a fun way to introduce kids, do some team building, but also talk about the mechanics of making marshmallows.
Beautiful, thank you. And we do a STEM event called the Physics of Marshmallows.
What? See, you're already ready.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Melinda, go ahead, please.
I want to expand on an idea I put in the chat, the premium incentive industry, the gift industry. The natural part is HR managers. They're always looking for things for people for birthdays and other things in companies. You've got a lot of corporations around you. In addition to that, you've got ASI and premium incentive industries, and that I can show you how to do. It's just putting out a sell sheet and about $1,000 a year to be a member. And the gift giving, you'll get it out nationally. I mean, it's a really easy way to do it. And associations, all of them do meetings and they like to give a gift. So there are ways to get to some of those folks, like ASAE has an annual trade show. You could take a booth and all the HR managers are going to be going through it. So maybe look at some trade shows that are local, but bringing people from around the country that might give you some um, really good exposure because the price point is right for gifts. People are looking for gifts in that price point for employees, for customers. I mean, what a great customer gift when you're in sales to bring some of your marshmallows or something. And I'm thinking of John's presentation last week. There are so many ways of the gift giving that will really expand your business.
Thank you.
And Lender?
Turn my audio on. An idea. I work with a number of realtors, and realtors are always looking, and I'll be glad to introduce you. Realtors are always looking for unique gifts to give to home buyers. So you get essentially two populations with that. You get the realtors giving your product, buying and giving your product, and then the recipient of the product having a very positive experience, and then remembering you. So you get 2 for 1 with that one. But I would be glad to introduce you to a number of realtors that I know.
Thank you.
And another networking group I go to, the person from NVAR, there's like 14,000 realtors, give or take, in Northern Virginia. So I would be glad to introduce you to her as well, because you can join NVAR, and it's a organization you can reach a lot of people, and then you can get to your audience.
Thanks. I will take those introductions.
Sure.
Jen Rittenberg?
So I'm reading your challenge question and specifically focused on attracting buyers to your location. I believe the amount of social media and or other outreach to the immediate area has to be much more than 3 to 5 times a week. Okay. I think it's got to be 3 times a day. And I'm not the biggest promoter of social media, but you're in the retail world. You're trying to form an impression for the very first time on a brand new audience of people. And even if you promote to your online buyers, come in, save shipping. I don't know how you handle shipping. I forget.
We charge them.
Okay. Well, but if it's local and whatever that is, and I can save it and stop by, that's cool. But I really think in the retail world, you have to triple, quadruple the amount of penetration to an immediate marketplace.
Thank you.
You bet. And I'll add one
Sophia?
thing on Mr. Lender. You know, at least certainly in the communities that where your demographic, if you could get realtors sending 12 boxes, one a month for a year, that's easily the budget realtors spend on the house gifts.
Yes, they're always looking for new and creative things to differentiate them.
And that's really to get in with the guys with the yellow signs. I forget their names.
Weichert.
Thank you.
Weichert. Sophia, go ahead.
Thanks. Amy, that was a great presentation. So just kind of thinking back, just more on the immediate, I have a lady who, what she does is she packages gifts for realtors, for mortgage companies, for title owners. And she's I'm going to say she's an acquaintance. And I think that linking you both together, I think you can talk to her, because based on the gifts that she creates, part of what she does is she works with a lot of owners who have, like, candy, cookies and things like that. She kind of packages that as part of her gift. And they kind of get to taste it, and they can always ask for more. And so I think if you could talk to her directly, network, you could see how you can give her some samples and see how she can include that with her gift packaging and customization that she does for realtors.
I will take all the introductions you offer.
Okay, I'm gonna go next and then I'll have Jen and Karen afterwards. So one of the things I didn't see it's on your gifts is holiday towers, birthday baskets, and also on your social media. I think it would be very helpful to have those set up table setups and examples of those charcuterie sweets boards that you mentioned at some point. I think in addition to that would be ideas of how to serve and your product. And I was looking at your Instagram and I noticed that your marshmallow cutting with a guitar cutter are your most popular higher performing posts.
Because
So
it's so
keep doing those.
satisfying.
Yes. And then I would say, since they're going, you can start your reel with that, but then move it on to presentation. And on your ideal client, I'll have to say, the marshmallow that you buy on the store has nothing to do with what you get. And we'll talk about what I heard during my party. But we need to talk about that.
Okay.
Jen, go ahead, please.
Or just two quick thoughts. To get more visibility on social media, I would create content like voting for what's the next flavor you should develop. And you could give some ideas, but like look for feedback and then maybe have a follow on. Hey, these are the top 3. Let's pick the top one. And then you can do a follow on. Hey, join me for a taste testing to decide. So you can just make it a whole journey and bring people along with you. The second thought was doing events specifically for wedding planners and event planners. And that's an easy one between NVAR and wedding and event planners. You can do really targeted ads there. And having them come and do taste testings. I don't know if that means, hey, do a bachelorette party there, maybe for some, but I think at least getting on the radar of wedding and event planners. Bachelorette parties don't have to be crazy, right? They can just be, hey, come and have fun, learn about this. We'll create a specific flavor for your wedding, whatever. So those are just some other ideas.
I like it. We used to do wedding shows, didn't get the return on investment that we wanted, and they, quite frankly, are as expensive as a regular trade show. I probably don't have to tell you that. So the idea of having something in the space and collaborating with other makers, and then bringing in hotel event planners, wedding planners is a really good one. Thank you.
Karen, go ahead, please.
Thanks. So may have already been mentioned, but I'm thinking about how do you get yourself exposed to the ideal clients that you're looking for? And you talked about foodies, maybe in that specific Tyson's Falls Church area. So I think it was mentioned like coffee and candy events, like where it's an afternoon thing, sort of like a tea, but coffee and candy, that kind of thing. But I'm also thinking candy really lends itself to dessert. And so is there a way to do a wine and candy event, but in the evening, but connect with an organization that is open late? It seemed like you were saying that late wouldn't work, but if there's a restaurant, some other thing where you could do a wine tasting and candy event. The other piece is it possible to create a candy plate that could be a dessert in a restaurant where the people you want as your clients go to eat? And then see if there's a way to work with a restaurant so that your candy is one of their dessert offerings with your information provided as well.
I like it. We're talking to Westover Taco about that actually over in Arlington, because they don't make desserts. And so at another networking group, we had a conversation with their owner, with Sharon, about that, and with Toby's Ice Cream. So some thoughts in the journey there, and all good ideas. Thank you.
All right. Any other last questions?
I just added in wine shops because wine shops do the tastings all the time, and that would be a real natural. I just put it in the chat.
Okay, so Colleen.
I just want to add 2 things. One is with your social media. If you do go down the path of advertising, you can hyper target it to a geographic location. And 2 is I love the idea of the team events. So really one of your target audiences is the corporates. And I don't know if you're aware of the Tyson's partnership, but it is a branding partnership for Tyson's, and it's got all the, the companies and retailers, corporate and community that's a part of it. And maybe you could, reach out to them and give a tasting. And but they're a pretty strong partnership, and they're trying to promote Tyson's as a brand and a community experience.
That's fantastic, Colleen. I was not aware of them, so I will take a peek. Thank you.
You bet.
Yeah, I think those are all the questions that we have for today.
Hey, Maria, I couldn't raise my hand electronically, so I'll raise it.
Apologize. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's because I'm sharing my screen. I couldn't figure out how to raise my hand. But anyway, two things, Amy. One is I just, pardon I thought I remember your fruit pate. You got organic versions of that?
Correct.
Okay.
It's
And then
all organic and vegan.
Oh, perfect. And then the other thing is, because of what you do, it's so exclusive. I think using that exclusivity, whether it's around flavors, or, limited things to cause people to, really want those things. And then also around that, because I noticed on your slide, pictures of the marshmallow themselves. And I don't know if you've got, pictures, but the one reminded me like of a cheese, but there were just some cool, and I've seen some of your other marshmallows that you brought in that they're really, pretty from a picture standpoint. So I think the idea of creating, taking picture of those marshmallows and having them out there, because somebody made the point that this is not your supermarket marshmallow.
Kaylee, that's all you. Get ready. Thank you, John.
All right, so I think with that, we should still be sharing the screen. And so that brings us to our last question. Amy, what can our 1 Million Cups community help you with today?
Everything that you have offered today is helpful to me. Jen pointed out earlier, sometimes being an entrepreneur means you get a little lonely. It also means I get stuck in my head a lot. So this is hugely helpful. And if you're offering introductions, please use the info at 1MillionCups email address, or 1MillionCups, Jesus, at 40 Blocks Fine Candy. Please use that address to reach out to me. I'd appreciate any introductions. And also a special thank you to John Rutenberg, who helped me tighten up these slides and get the presentation in shape.
Awesome. Well, great job, Amy. And certainly thank you, everybody, for your participation. With that, next week we are meeting at the Mason Enterprise Center. So we will be live, and we will have Peter Odell speaking next week live. So we'll look forward to seeing that, and we'll look forward to tasting some of the marshmallows next week. And if I get
And
a
some
chance,
fruit pate for you, John.
oh, thank you, Amy. And I may bring a few muffins to supplement the marshmallows. So.
Ooh.
So with that, that is next week. Look forward to seeing people there. Upcoming events. There are, it's one thing this area doesn't lack is events for networking, information, and just helping entrepreneurs. And so take advantage of that. We've got a QR code down there. And I think we'll also paste these links in the chat. So when you download your chat, you'll have them there as well. All right. And our upcoming schedule, as mentioned, next week we are hybrid on July 9th with Peter Odell, very exciting. And then we've got, looks like we've got the month of July we're full in the month of July, and then August we are open. So anybody, you either yourself or somebody out there that is looking to present, we would love to have you. And so we've got some opportunities available for that. And also we've got that QR code will take you to the application process.
So quick mention, John, on July 16th, we're having a reschedule, so that day is open for presenter.
Oh, okay. Very good. Thank you, Maria. So we have an opening on July 16th. All right. With that, we love to have everybody show up, but please take advantage of the QR code here. It will take you to all the links that are available. Certainly share the posts, share the schedule, and we'd love to have as many people here as we can to help. To take advantage of that QR code. We are on all platforms. So with that, we're wrapping up. We've got a few minutes to stick around, network. Any other ideas for Amy? Touch base. Peter, certainly looking forward to next week.
Great job, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, thank you. And thanks for all the really good ideas. I don't know if Peter's still here. The idea with the retirement communities, independent living is such a good, I mean, it's such a good one. And I think jumping on that, whether I get